Hi everyone, my name is Moreno and I'm part of the ELT Fest. During the ELT Fest, we plan to share different videos, topics, and even some recommendations to celebrate today, the teaching of tomorrow. During the ELT Fest, I will present English pronunciation. During the video, I will explain topics like the importance of pronunciation, how to teach it, and the assessment of pronunciation. The first topic is pronunciation for international communication. I will present this topic because I want to share the changes that teaching pronunciation had during the last century. For example, in the 20th century, pronunciation teaching was governed by the nativeness principle. This principle had the goal that all the students and learners needed to have a native speaker accent or pronunciation, either British or American. But this assumption was challenged by the revival of communicative approaches in the 1980s. And they started to put emphasis on the needs of the students, and they started to apply different concepts like intelligibility, comprehensibility, and accentness. For this concept, I will share a video. This video is about two people that they need to guess the word that they listen in Spanish.
Hola chicos, ¿cómo están?
Olá,
Ciao.
tudo bem?
¿Todo bien? Muy bien. Elegí algunas palabras para esta actividad. Voy a dar la explicación o descripción y ustedes van a intentar adivinarlas. También pueden pedir información si quieren. ¿Están listos?
Tudo bem, tudo
¿Sí?
bem. Pronto,
Muy bien.
pronto.
Entonces, primera palabra. Es una publicación tradicionalmente impresa.
Un giornale.
Jornal.
Ajá. Sí, es periódico la primera palabra.
Periódico é um jornal, não é uma revista, é um jornal.
Exacto, es un diario también.
The purpose of this video is to show intelligibility in a context. Maybe this context is not English related, but we can see how intelligibility works in the daily life. Because they don't speak Spanish and they understand what the Spanish speakers produce. The next concept is comprehensibility. Relates to the effort required by the listening to understand what the speaker is saying. And accentness is the extent of the listener to judge the speaker accent. For example, in the video that I will show, a person with British pronunciation rate the pronunciation of a girl that have American pronunciation.
Dad rating my girlfriend's accent.
Uber?
Uber? You mean Uber?
Daughter?
It's daughter. Daughter.
Walk?
Did you say walk? It's walk. 0 out of 10.
Lost?
Get lost.
No, Dad.
Now we are going to discuss the importance of pronunciation. Pronunciation is important because it affects the understanding of the meaning of the words. Also, this can help us to develop other skills like the ones that I will explain right now. The first skill that students develop with pronunciation is the speaking skill. If the students have a good pronunciation training, that will improve their confidence when they need to speak English. Also, they are going to develop two different processes of listening skills, which are bottom-up processing and connect speech. Bottom-up helps them to decode the individual phrases, words, and sounds that learners can hear. Also, pronunciation overlaps with listening in terms of understanding the changes of the words that speakers make in connect speech. That is, the modifications that they have based on the dictionary words that they find. This process can be assimilation, elations, or coalescence. Another skill that students develop with pronunciation is vocabulary learning. And they develop two different aspects, which are sound spelling norms and vocabulary retention. Students need guidance to correct pronunciation of the vocabulary, so they need to apply their L1 sound spelling to English words that they are learning. This is because the way that the words are written are different in their mind, and they need to create a process. Also, assisting reading can improve their pronunciation and help them to read better. How we teach pronunciation depends a lot in the teacher, because we need to take in consideration the teaching beliefs, the place that we teach, and the students. But also there are numbers of principles and characteristics that we need to take in consideration to teach pronunciation effectively. First, we need to teach the students the importance of pronunciation. We can teach it by helping the students understand the importance of pronunciation for effective communication, by exploring the learners a goal with international intelligibility, and also establish priorities depending on the needs of the students and certain groups in the classroom. Also, we can teach pronunciation with listening, like we said before, bottom up, and connect the speech. They need to listen a lot to acquire knowledge. And finally, we can teach pronunciation with vocabulary. Vocabulary, it can be by speaking or listening, and provide a great idea to integrate pronunciation into lessons, because they can work language and the knowledge and pronunciation in the same classroom. Also, this can help the learners to. And finally, pronunciation through vocabulary. Vocabulary can help us to have success in both in speaking and listening, and also this can provide a great opportunity to work in the context in which they can use the language. Also, checking with vocabulary allows the teacher and the students to check the pronunciation problems, and also it can reduce the distraction of the students during the speaking activity or other activities that they can have during the lesson. Now, I'm going to explain how to assess pronunciation. The ways that we can assess pronunciation are different, but I will give some examples. The first one is a diagnostic test. This test can help us to check different things, for example, how the students spoke, and this can be checked by reading a test, or maybe speak spontaneously. Also, it can be a progress testing. After that, we can apply progress testing. This activity is how the students can progress in a certain period of time. In this progress testing, they can have different activities like recordings of their speaking, reading, or other assessments. And the next one is the feedback the students can receive from this activity. The feedback needs to be meaningful by showing the students some examples and the things that they need to improve. Because if they receive meaningful feedback, it's more effective. The students can have a better results. And also, another task that we can apply in the classroom, it can be a portfolio. This portfolio, it can include the recording of the diagnostic test, all the activities that they did during the progress testing, and a final exam to check their pronunciation at the beginning of the course and at the final of the course. After that, we can apply progress testing. This activity is how the students can progress in a certain period of time. In this progress testing, they can have different activities like recordings of their speaking, reading, or other assessments. And the next one is the feedback the students can receive from this activity. The feedback needs to be meaningful by showing the students some examples and the things that they need to improve, because if they receive meaningful feedback, it's more effective, that students can have a better results. And also another task that we can apply in the classroom, it can be a portfolio. This portfolio, it can include the recording of the diagnostic tests, all the activities that they did during the progress testing, and a final exam to check their pronunciation at the beginning of the course and at the final of the course.